Elegance is something that cannot be forced. It is not about putting on a show or trying too hard to impress people. It comes from small daily habits that add up to a presence that feels natural and refined, the kind of presence that makes people pause and notice without you even asking for attention. For older women, elegance becomes less about chasing trends and more about building timeless practices into daily life, practices that speak of self respect, grace, and quiet confidence. When someone walks into a room and carries herself with elegance, it is never because of one grand gesture, but because of the small, consistent ways she chooses to present herself to the world. And this is what sets her apart in a world where many focus only on what is superficial. Think about the way someone sits down at a table, the way she holds herself while waiting in line, or even the way she handles a moment of stress. All of these small actions reveal far more than a new dress or a designer handbag ever could. Elegance begins with the habits that no one sees you practice, such as maintaining calm when things do not go your way, keeping your voice steady and measured even in disagreement, or treating others with kindness when it would be easier to dismiss them. These are not grand gestures, but small everyday habits that quietly form an aura that others interpret as sophistication and class, and it does not require perfection, but only consistent effort over time. When you look at someone and think she is effortlessly elegant, what you are really noticing is the discipline behind her daily choices. She has trained herself to avoid the rushed, careless movements that make others appear distracted or messy, and instead, she has developed a way of moving and speaking that feels intentional. This intention does not mean rigidity, it simply means being aware of how one carries herself in the presence of others. An elegant woman does not constantly adjust her appearance for attention. She does not chase approval, and she does not use loud gestures to dominate space. Rather, she allows her presence to fill the room through subtle composure and calm assurance that she knows who she is. There is also something deeply powerful about the way habits influence not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. When you practice small habits of elegance daily, you begin to feel that elegance within yourself, and it becomes a part of your identity instead of something you try to put on like clothing. The older a woman becomes, the more important this inner identity becomes, because true elegance does not wrinkle or fade. It lives in the way you choose to behave regardless of external circumstances. A smile offered in a moment of tension, a kind word given when no one expects it, a graceful pause instead of a quick outburst. These are the small habits that make people think of you as someone who is grounded and elegant without ever needing to point it out. The beauty of these small habits is that they are not expensive. They do not require access to luxury. They are built from choices available to everyone. Choosing patience over irritation, gratitude over complaint, and mindfulness over distraction creates an aura that others cannot help but respect. Over time, people associate your presence with comfort, stability, and poise, which are the true marks of elegance. The way you treat a server at a restaurant, the way you greet a stranger, the way you handle mistakes, these are the quiet details that reveal far more than fashion magazines ever could about what it means to be truly elegant. It is often said that elegance is timeless, but what makes it timeless is not some mysterious quality. It is the commitment to small habits that never lose their value. Calmness will always be elegant. Kindness will always be elegant. Composure will always be elegant. And these are things you can cultivate through the decisions you make each day. The woman who chooses to carry herself with self-respect, who does not compromise her standards, and who treats herself and others with dignity, radiates a form of elegance that is beyond age and beyond trends. And this is why people describe her as effortlessly graceful, even though behind that grace are years of small choices that she has practiced until they became second nature. Posture and presence are among the first things people notice before a word is even spoken, and they create an impression that lingers long after the initial encounter. When a woman stands tall, shoulders relaxed but aligned, chin slightly lifted, and carries herself with quiet confidence, she communicates elegance without saying a thing. It is not about stiffness or perfection, but about holding herself in a way that reflects strength and calmness at the same time. Older women who maintain this awareness of posture radiate a kind of dignity that makes others want to listen when they speak, and this presence instantly sets them apart in any room. Think of how different it feels when someone slouches into a space compared to when they glide in with deliberate composure. The difference is night and day. Poor posture can give the impression of being tired, insecure, or disengaged, while good posture naturally signals self-assurance and vitality. Presence is the extension of posture because it is not just about how the body is held, but how energy is carried. An elegant woman does not rush to dominate attention. She does not need exaggerated movements or loud gestures. Instead, she allows her calm presence to draw people in. This habit of mindful presence creates an invisible magnetism that others notice immediately. Presence also shows up in the way someone listens and engages with the people around her. A woman who gives her full attention to another person while maintaining open posture, eye contact, and genuine interest instantly communicates elegance. She does not need to constantly check her phone or fidget with distractions because her presence alone already speaks volumes. This habit of being truly present is rare in a world full of divided attention, and it is exactly what makes her stand out. Her posture supports her attentiveness, and her attentiveness strengthens her posture, creating a loop of grace that others feel on a deeper level. Posture and presence are also reflections of inner confidence. They do not rely on outward beauty or material possessions, but on the belief that one's value is already secure. An older woman who walks with her head held high, even in simple attire, communicates more elegance than someone wearing the most expensive clothes while shrinking into herself. Confidence shows through the way someone occupies space, not in a forceful way, but in a grounded, balanced manner that tells the world she is comfortable in her own skin. This kind of elegance comes from practice, from reminding oneself to straighten up, breathe deeply, and carry energy with intention. There is a quiet power in posture and presence that goes beyond appearances because they also influence how others respond. People tend to mirror what they see, so when someone demonstrates calmness and poise, others feel at ease in their company. An elegant woman does not need to raise her voice to be heard because her presence commands attention without demanding it. This creates a sense of respect that cannot be faked. It is the result of daily habit, of choosing to walk into every room as though she belongs there, not with arrogance, but with assurance. Even in private moments, posture and presence play a role in shaping self-image. Standing tall when no one is watching reinforces confidence internally, and that practice carries over to public interactions. Small choices such as sitting with poise, walking with measured steps, and maintaining graceful stillness in conversation create an aura that becomes second nature. For older women, this is one of the most powerful habits because while style and trends change with time, posture and presence never go out of fashion, and they are often remembered long after words are forgotten. Simplicity in dress and accessories has always been at the heart of timeless elegance, because true refinement is never about excess, but about knowing how to let the right details speak without noise. When a woman chooses simplicity, she is making a statement that she does not need to rely on overwhelming patterns or layers of flashy ornaments to be noticed. She allows her presence to shine first while her style enhances rather than competes with it. Older women who adopt this habit demonstrate an understanding that elegance is not measured by the number of items worn, but by the balance and harmony they create with what they choose. And this balance makes every outfit feel deliberate and graceful. It is easy to think that elegance requires a full wardrobe of luxury brands, but simplicity shows the opposite is true. A well-fitted blazer, a clean dress in a neutral tone, or a pair of classic shoes can elevate a look far more than something overly complicated. The habit of choosing quality over quantity builds a wardrobe that always feels polished without needing constant reinvention. Accessories follow the same rule. A single pair of pearl earrings, a watch with clean lines, or a delicate necklace can often say more about elegance than layers of jewelry. It is not about deprivation, but about learning that less often has more impact. And this realization becomes liberating because it removes the pressure to constantly keep up with trends. The power of simplicity also lies in how it reflects inner confidence. When a woman knows who she is, she does not need to dress in a way that screams for attention. She dresses in a way that aligns with her identity. This habit of simplicity allows her to carry herself with ease because nothing she wears feels like a mask or performance. Instead of chasing temporary fashion statements, she builds a consistent style that grows with her and always feels authentic. Older women who adopt this approach embody an elegance that is effortless because it is rooted in truth, and people naturally sense this honesty in her style. Simplicity in dress also makes space for personality to come through. When clothing is not overwhelming, people notice expressions, gestures, and the way someone carries herself, and that is what creates memorable elegance. A simple color palette allows a woman's natural energy to shine, and carefully chosen accessories can highlight personality without overpowering it. This habit is not about blending into the background, but about creating a look that enhances natural features while leaving room for character and charm to take the lead. Simplicity becomes a frame that highlights the art of the woman herself, and that is where elegance lives. Beyond appearance, the habit of simplicity influences mindset. When one chooses to simplify style, it also simplifies daily life, removing the stress of constant decisions and endless shopping. There is freedom in knowing that a few well-chosen pieces will always work, and this freedom translates into calmness and confidence. Elegance is never frantic, it is steady and composed, and the practice of simplicity in dress supports that energy. It allows a woman to focus her energy on the things that truly matter: her interactions, her posture, her presence, and her grace. People remember how she carried herself, not the number of accessories she wore. Simplicity also stands the test of time because trends will fade, but refinement never loses relevance. The little black dress, the tailored white shirt, the structured handbag, these pieces have remained elegant for decades because simplicity keeps them eternal. An older woman who chooses to embrace this habit builds a style that will never look dated because it was never tied to fleeting fashion cycles in the first place. This is why simplicity is not just a choice, but a habit that builds elegance day after day, year after year, until it becomes second nature and others describe her style as effortless, even though it is rooted in deliberate, thoughtful practice. Manners, tone of voice, and the way one listens are some of the strongest signals of elegance because they reveal not just how a woman presents herself, but how she values the people around her. No matter how well someone dresses or how polished they appear, the true test of elegance is always an interaction in the subtle choices of words, gestures, and attention. Older women who embody elegance understand that kindness in speech does not make one weak, it makes one unforgettable. A soft but clear tone creates an atmosphere of calm, and people instinctively feel more respected and at ease around someone who speaks with care. The way someone listens is another powerful marker of grace. Most people listen to respond, but an elegant woman listens to understand. She does not interrupt unnecessarily, and she allows others to feel heard before she adds her perspective. This simple habit of patient listening is rare, which is why it feels so striking when it happens. A woman who holds herself with composure and gives her attention without distraction creates an environment where people open up naturally, and this builds not just respect, but admiration. Elegance is felt more in these moments of genuine presence than in any outward display. Tone of voice plays a deeper role than most realize because words may fade, but tone lingers in memory. A harsh or impatient tone can diminish even the most stylish appearance, while a calm, steady tone can elevate even the simplest setting. Elegance shows itself in the ability to remain measured even under pressure, to deliver words firmly but without hostility, and to leave conversations feeling lighter rather than heavier. An older woman who masters this habit communicates wisdom and composure through every interaction, and that is a far stronger impression than anything material. Manners extend beyond formal rules. They are the daily habits of respect, the way one greets others, acknowledges service, or thanks someone for their time. These are not grand gestures, but small, consistent signals that one values the dignity of every person encountered. Holding a door, offering a kind smile, using polite words in both casual and formal settings, these practices build a reputation of grace that others never forget. True elegance is never arrogant. It does not demand attention, but earns it through these subtle demonstrations of thoughtfulness. What makes manners, tone, and listening such powerful habits is that they influence not only how others perceive someone, but also how that person feels about herself. A woman who chooses to speak with kindness, to listen with patience, and to act with respect naturally begins to carry herself with greater confidence because she knows she is living in alignment with values that never go out of style. This internal confidence then radiates outward, making every room she enters feel more balanced, every conversation more meaningful, and every interaction more memorable. These habits also create a ripple effect because people tend to mirror the behavior they experience. When someone speaks with elegance, others lower their own defensiveness and rise to meet that level of respect. When someone listens fully, others feel inspired to do the same. An older woman who consistently embodies these habits ends up elevating not just herself, but everyone around her. And this is the essence of effortless elegance, the ability to leave people better than she found them simply through the way she speaks, listens, and treats them. Consistency in self-care, from grooming to maintaining composure, is one of the most defining habits that create an aura of elegance that feels natural rather than forced. It is never about perfection or extravagance, but about the daily commitment to honoring oneself through small, steady rituals that reflect dignity and pride. Older women who radiate effortless elegance understand that elegance is not something you turn on and off. It is woven into how you live every single day. Taking care of the skin, hair, and overall appearance may seem like surface details, but they communicate discipline, self-respect, and a quiet sense of value that others can immediately sense. Self-care goes beyond appearance and into the realm of composure because how one handles emotions and situations becomes part of the image others see. An elegant woman does not allow chaos to dictate her energy. She maintains calm even when life feels unpredictable. This does not mean she never feels frustration or stress. It means she has developed habits of breathing, pausing, and responding with thought instead of reacting impulsively. Over time, this composure becomes second nature, and people come to associate her presence with steadiness. That steadiness is remembered far longer than clothing or accessories because it touches the emotional experience of everyone around her. Grooming as a form of self-care is often underestimated, but it speaks volumes about discipline and consistency. Neatly kept hair, well cared for skin, clean nails, and simple but tidy clothing create an impression of someone who values herself and her environment. These details do not require luxury, only attention and regular effort. When a woman shows this level of consistency, others naturally perceive her as elegant because they see that she has invested time in herself without needing to flaunt it. It creates an impression of refinement without excess, and it reinforces the idea that elegance is not purchased but practiced. Self-care also includes nurturing the mind and body because elegance cannot be separated from well-being. A woman who takes care of her health, stays active, nourishes herself, and prioritizes rest carries an energy that is vibrant and calm at once. That energy is part of what makes her elegance feel effortless because it shows she is aligned with herself physically and mentally. Elegance is drained quickly when one is exhausted, overwhelmed, or disconnected from her needs, which is why consistency in caring for both body and spirit is one of the strongest foundations of a graceful presence. What makes this habit so powerful is its quiet nature, because true self-care is not for display, it is for inner stability. The older a woman becomes, the more valuable this foundation becomes because elegance shifts from being about trends to being about how one sustains grace across time. Composure, grooming, and well being are not temporary choices, but lifelong practices that build an aura others cannot help but admire. People may not notice every detail of grooming or every choice in calm composure, but they feel the result in the way they experience her presence. Consistency is the thread that ties it all together, because doing something once does not create elegance, but doing it daily, weekly, and year after year transforms it into second nature. The elegant woman is not scrambling to appear graceful only in public moments. She is graceful because she has made self-care and composure part of who she is. That consistency builds trust in the eyes of others because they know what to expect. They know she will always present herself with dignity, and that reliability is what makes her elegance appear so natural, so effortless, and so timeless.